Welcome to the City Council meeting of the Hudson, Wisconsin for Monday, December 3rd, 2012. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Burchell?
Here.
District 1 Morset?
Here.
District 2 Yakub? Here. District 3 Bernard is excused. District 4 Tewinkle?
Here.
District 5 Hoggett?
Here.
District 6 Vanslo is excused.
At this point, anyone in the audience that would like to address the council on any item that is not on our agenda, now's the time. So if there's anyone here that would like to talk to the council or make a suggestion, now's your time. Is there anyone that would like to address the council? Okay, consent agenda.
To approve the public hearing and regular meeting minutes of November 19th, 2012, and the public hearing minutes of November 12th, 2012. To approve the issuance of 4 regular operators licenses for the period December 4th, 2012 to June 30th, 2014. To approve the issuance of 1 temporary operator's license to be used December 23rd, 2012 at the Hudson Hockey Association Alumni Hockey Game. Additional operator license information is available in the clerk's office on request. To authorize the mayor, city administrator, and finance officer to approve any vouchers and year-end payments for 2012 budget items that cannot be delayed until January 14th, 2013. To approve the 2013 budget for the sanitary sewer utility as presented. To approve renewal of the contract with the Animal Humane Society for impound housing services for 2013 as presented. To place on file the semi-annual report of the IT coordinator and the quarterly report of the Parks and Public Works director. That is all.
Move for approval.
Second.
Roll call?
No.
Nope.
Because we've got claims off of there. So.
Oh, okay, we had the claims off. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. First order is claims. We didn't have a finance meeting because we didn't have a quorum. So we'll go through the claims right now. Any questions or comments? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion? That amount is $425,109.
And details on the webpage.
Yep, I think everybody's got that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have application of Ryan Humphrey for taxi cab service license, DBA Right Way Ride, and taxi cab driver's license number. You have the information in front of you. Is there any questions?
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are we approving contingent on insurance? Or
Yes. Well, yeah, contingent upon staff recommendation.
Any other comments
Aye.
or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we had the assessment pulled. Review of a possibility of accepting online utility payments. Neil?
This is, we talked about this about a year ago, and there has been some changes since then. I think one of the issues a year ago when we looked at it, we had looked at really 2 things. Number one, accepting online payments and accepting payments at the front desk. Currently, there's still a cost to accepting payments at the front desk, and that is not part of this recommendation. What we are recommending and what has changed in the past year is that Payment Service Network, who is a pretty widely recognized provider of payment services to governmental entities, now has an interface with ACS, who is our accounting software provider, whereby if somebody goes to the Payment Service Network website, they can make an online payment. There is a flat fee, $2.99 per, and what would end up happening is that will download and integrate into our utility billing system, where we don't have to handle that transaction, anymore. It'll completely update it, and then so that would be downloaded each day. In the morning, we would upload to them the new balances. And that's really the change, because when we looked at it last year, one of the concerns was how do we get the information from the service provider, the payment service provider, into our accounting system without, any additional, labor cost or labor time. And at least now it's integrated. The cost here from the service network side is $89 per year total. We would need ACS to write that, to customize that interface for us and to set up that process. There's a $1,600 one-time fee, and my thought is that we would split that between the three utilities, the water utility, the sewer utility, and the stormwater utility, and I think those costs can be absorbed into either this year's budget or next year's budget.
Well, Neil, I think this is a no-brainer. I brought this up a year ago, and I thank you for doing the follow-up. And I would move that we approve the staff recommendation and go ahead with setting this up at the $1,600 cost, the $89 cost per year, is it?
Per year.
It's spread between the three utilities, water, sanitary, and storm.
Okay, is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay. But they can't come in and make the payment?
Not yet, because one of the things, to do it here, we would have to have a facility where we would have to have all the hardware here to upload the transactions and that. And there's a cost to us to do that. And I know that was one of the stumbling blocks previously. I think we can always look at that. I think things are getting less and less expensive. I think they are getting closer. But, at this time, I felt there was an opportunity to at least get part of the ultimate solution.
So they'd go on our website, hit pay bill, and that's how they'd get to.
We could either go off of our website, and when you go onto our website, whether it's the new one, the old one, or directly into Payment Service Network, there'll be a link. It'll take you right there. You'll have a lookup where you can look up your account information and then make that payment.
So the $299 fees assessed just to them. We have no
Just to them.
fees that come.
No, our total
That we have
cost
to worry
is,
about.
on an annual basis, after we pay the one-time fee, is $89.
Do we have any IT issues on security for using this on our website? I mean,
No, many communities around use that, and the website's hosted on a secure server.
okay,
ACS on
Okay.
a secure server.
all right, thank you.
Isn't the function for a credit card at the front desk just a matter of a credit card reader?
We would have to have a credit card reader there, but then when we're generating that transaction, we would have to pay a merchant's fee.
Yeah, like 3% or something.
And that's where, I think the discussion revolved around previously was, is it fair for all utility customers to pay the cost for, the limited number who are using it? And at least here, it's a user fee on a transaction-by-transaction basis.
I'd still like to see us try to move forward when available.
I realize that, and we will continue to
We're moving
monitor.
that way.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
So are we gonna, I'm sorry, go ahead, Kurt.
I'm just curious where the merchant fee is in this.
There's nothing.
$89 a
There's
year?
nothing for us. The $299 covers the fee that Payment Service Network would incur.
And the person paying it online pays that.
Right, but that's to Payment Service Network. Visa doesn't process for free. So I'm just,
Well, actually, if you look at what the cost is, I think when we looked at it, if we were going to have a machine here, our cost, including our merchant fee and all that, depending upon volume of transaction, was in the $1.50 to $2 per transaction. So the merchant fee is built in there. And I think the $299, if you go to the county and look to pay your real estate tax bill on time, I think that's about $4. And this $299 is about as good of a price, even when we were looking last year, that we found for, an online transaction.
So it's just gonna be on the bill as a notice, you may pay online? I mean,
We probably
is it
could
as
the first
simple as
couple.
just put it on the bill, right?
Well, yeah, we've got, I don't know how many lines we have. We have so many lines we can put on utility bill with information or.
And it should go on our website.
Right, this will buy us a little bit of time because the next set of billings will go out in early February.
Yeah.
And this will give us a little bit of time to get the information out there.
Yeah,
and
I
to
just
get it
don't wanna
tweaked on our
send
website.
it out a separate manila card.
No.
No.
We can,
Put it on the utility bill.
sorry.
We can do that. I think we have 3 lines we can put on there.
Comments? I think this is a good first step, Randy, as you were talking about, that we're moving in the right direction. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Neil. Number 9, request of Russ Evenson for a possible extension of opening of Postmark Grill. Russ, you're here tonight again. You want to step up to the, No, you're not embarrassing yourself.
Okay, this will be the last time I come down here,
Well, you
which
can-
I'll miss you all. I hope you all come in and see me there. But they keep me in the kitchen, so if you want to see me, you got to go back there.
Everyone got
About
his.
95% done. The painter felt a little bit behind because I mean, he kept losing his brush. But all we have left, the dining room is done. All we have left is the kitchen. All equipment should be here within the next week. I'm thinking about 3 weeks we'll be open.
Okay.
The liquor license, I had to be open by the 12th. I will be open by Christmas, for sure.
I'll make a motion to extend the liquor license 30 more days.
I will second that.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Did you say you will be open before Christmas?
I will be open. Well, I shouldn't say that because I don't want everybody in town running in the place. But yeah, I will be open before Christmas.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in
Looking good.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Just make sure you yell back to me in the kitchen because they don't let me out front.
All right, we'll stop in. Thank you.
Russ.
Front.
Item 11, application of Crusader Hockey, Inc. for a temporary Class B retailer license to sell beer in the Gornick Arena at 1820 Hanley Road from 6 PM to 10:30 PM on December 21st, 22nd, January 5th, February 1st, and February 2nd. I believe that'll probably fill the
Quota for the year.
quota for the year. Goes from July to July.
Correct.
Okay.
They do this every year, don't they? Or
No, this
similar?
is two different things. This is the
Oh, this is the
Crusaders.
one they do.
Right. They did one a few weeks ago. And they're separate from the Hockey Association.
Okay.
Someone here tonight from the Crusaders? Okay, does anybody have any questions for them? I think you've got the, they maintain the second floor in the mezzanine area where they will be serving the alcohol.
I'll move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Yep. All right, next one is application of the Hudson Hockey Association for a temporary Class B retailer's license to sell beer in the Gornick Arena at 1820 Hanley Road again from 5 to 11 PM on December 23rd, 2012. I believe that's for an alumni hockey tournament. This will be their second,
Second,
because they had the pig roast.
Yes.
right. The change is that they're asking for a new area.
If you notice that,
So is it, I mean, has someone looked at that, gone down and looked at it, or do we, to make sure that it's fine to be in that area, or does not really matter? Is it
I
just-
didn't go look, but other people are familiar with the
I
layout
think
of
it'd actually be
the
better. It looks
arena.
like it's in a,
Yeah, I'm
in the
not
back
familiar
corner.
with it. I
Yep.
don't know.
It's,
Some-
as you
It's-
go into the actual ice area, it's up on
The raised
Oh.
platform
platform.
way
Okay.
at the back.
Sure.
right on that corner there.
That's a good idea.
But it's different than what they have done in the past. That's why you just want to
Sure.
bring that.
I
to
think
our
they've
attention.
have been there at one time though, haven't they?
In the past, when the Crusaders did it before, they were down at the other end, the far end of the arena. That's where they had the beer last year when the Crusaders did it a couple times. This will be on the closest end.
That isn't the way it looks to me.
Yeah, it
That's
looks like
not-
it's on the far
No,
end.
that's what they used to do. The back page is the previously approved
Oh,
area.
gotcha.
It's this page here is what they're proposing.
Yeah.
Okay,
We wanted to show the difference so that you saw it was an
I see.
different area.
All right,
All right.
thank you.
I'll just move for approval.
okay. Is there, okay.
I'll second that.
Me.
Any other discussion then? Thanks, Devin, pointing that out. I said that looked familiar, the old one. Any other any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13, review bids submitted for the 2013 purchase of 2 police vehicles. Well, we're getting really good pricing now, Mr. Chief, aren't we?
Yes, we are. As you can see, I sent out the letter and specs on the 20th of November to have them back in by the 29th at 4 o'clock. At that time, Devin and I opened up the bids, and as you can see from the three that we got, the lowest one was from Hudson Ford for $21,000 per car. If you take a look at that compared to the next lowest bid, if you add both cars together, we're saving just under $5,000 by doing that in the second bid. So my recommendation would be to go with Hudson Ford.
What'd you budget for, what did we budget?
70,000 total for both vehicles.
That includes outfitting though, right?
That includes outfitting.
Outfitting costs 10? No.
Somewhere between $8,000 to $10,000. Now, we were figuring on cost being somewhere between the 23 to 25,000 range, so not knowing that they would come in this low, so. Now, these are, like I said, these are brand-new Interceptors, so it might cost us a little bit more to outfit them because we won't have cages and so forth that'll match up, but there should be some money left over in that account.
Good pricing.
Oh, yes, very good.
Move to approve.
Second, you're gonna do the same thing that we're doing on the Suburbans, right?
That's the plan.
same
Ladder.
design?
Same design, correct.
Okay. Explorer, not Suburban.
I'm sorry, Explorer, Suburban,
Excursion.
Excursions.
something that pulls things.
Yeah. Discussion.
I'm tired.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Thanks, Marty. I can't vote. Public Works. Mr. Tom, it has tree risk management policy.
John would like to speak on that. But anyway, this is a policy that we would like to have approved by the city council. Back in 2011, we did a tree inventory and 350 risk trees were identified and rated accordingly from higher to low risk. We'd just like to have this as a policy to show that we are aware that we have potential risks, and then we will work within this policy, within finance, within the budget we have, and the staff that we have to take care of the risk trees that we have identified, and to continue to identify trees as time goes on.
Tom, how much do we have in our budget for trees? Do you remember for new tree? Is it?
In the urban forestry budget?
Yeah.
Operating budget's about 35,000.
For new trees?
That's for the whole, that's
for
the whole
everything.
budget.
That's
yes.
taking them down too, isn't
We
it?
usually keep about 5,000 for new trees.
Okay.
That's risk tree management and tree removal and pruning is probably about half of our budget, I think.
Okay.
Because it takes a lot of effort to do that. And we do some of it, and then we hire out the things that we can't do because the trees are too tall or we need other equipment.
5,000 gives us an average of how many trees? Depending on the tree, I get it. I'm just.
Right now, I think to remove some boulevard trees, it's like $225 if the tree service does it. I mean, we have the capabilities with our bucket truck to do smaller trees. I think the trees that we took down this year, this public works crew, we tried to take down trees that are 20-inch diameter at breast height or less.
But I mean, I think she was asking the new trees.
New trees
You're gonna
to,
put $100 a tree?
if we,
$200 a tree?
how much do we spend on average a year to plant new trees in the city?
I think we've had some donations, some money in the budget, probably about $5,000 a year so far.
Okay.
50, 75.
trees, yeah.
Plus we try to do the buy one, get one. So we're getting some donations from other people for trees. So we're also in an effort, we'll be putting together a list of funding sources that come from different parts of the country to add to that planting budget.
Did we say 50 trees for $5,000?
Yeah.
Right.
How big are those trees?
Depends on 10 foot.
I mean,
are
are
they
we
10 foot?
Yes, if we buy, what we have been purchasing is some balled and burlap trees, or potted trees that are 1.5 to 1.75 inch diameter. So, it seems like the ones that survive have the highest survival rate. And they could range anywhere from $150 to $200 a tree.
But we have a good program called Buy One, Get One Free, where we get some money and we donate, we fund any donations?
We tried that for a few years. We'll have to see if we can do it continuously.
I think we should do it again this year if we can, because I think that's a good program.
But there's other ways to,
Sure.
I don't know if we're getting into a different topic here, but, we can buy bare root trees in the spring, put them in pots, water them, put them in mulch, water them for a month or two till the roots get established, and we can probably get a cheaper tree that way. So we have a lot of options, and we're working on that through the Urban Forestry Board.
Any other questions on Tom on the tree risk management policy?
Yeah, did you have a chance to review this? Because
Yes, yeah, I reviewed it in the notebook, so
Okay.
that's fine.
I'll move to approve the tree risk management policy.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion?
Is this different than we discussed?
This is the policy, and then the ordinance is next on the agenda, or won't be on the agenda.
Right.
Right.
That's what went back to the board.
That's correct.
Okay. Didn't any know that there's a policy or a ordinance? No.
Right, there's an ordinance concerning boulevard trees and other issues that Public Works sent
Still
back to the
working.
Urban Forestry.
That's
Board.
correct, yep.
Okay. Related but different.
And that's what I was clarifying,
Okay.
was that they were,
Okay. Any other comments or suggestions before we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is consider changes to municipal code, chapter 212-9-A, ordinance number 14-12.
Just a little history, a little background on this. This is something that's not all that new. This is something that we've been dealing with for several years, 5, 6 years, when we did some contractual mowing versus mowing within the Public Works Department. We identified several areas that, that I guess we were asked, why is there so much mowing? So we started identifying every individual area that we mowed, and there's a lot of areas that no one knew why we were mowing those areas. Sometimes we get started in a development, or, like when Carmichael Road started, that when there was no development on there, we just maintained it a little bit so it looked better, and over the years, we just kept doing a lot of the mowing, a lot of the shoveling and things like that on these trails. So over the last few years, we've identified several areas, and we basically went according to our ordinances that adjacent property owners are supposed to maintain the boulevards and the sidewalks. So over the last 3-4 years, we've come a long way, and we've identified these areas, and the property owners have taken responsibility and have mowed and cleared the sidewalks in those areas. We're worked down to the last 3 areas that are identified on the issue sheet, 3 or 4 areas: Cooley Road from 2nd Street to 11th Street, Vine Street from Wisconsin to the sanitary lift station just east of the YMCA, Bear Drive from St. Croix Street to Boulder Court, 13th Street. It's a trail between Laurel Avenue and Wisconsin Street, up by Iverson Circle. We maintain that. So basically, we're down to those 3 or 4 areas that we still haven't talked about. We brought this before the City Council, or the Public Works Committee, last Tuesday, and there was a word in the ordinance that says, a sentence that said in front of, and we wanted to change that to clarify and make it easier for enforcement. It should say adjacent to. There's several sidewalks in the downtown area that have corner lots, and there's no way to enforce that if we would say in front of. So we wanted to change that verbiage to say adjacent to. In the Public Works Committee meeting, we discussed possible options, as there are some issues with some concerns on different areas, that it's a long distance from the back of property lot lines. So we're wondering if there was some way to have some exemptions to exclude some of the people from this ordinance. after talking with Catherine today, that we currently didn't discuss any standards for exemptions, like, for instance, like we have in with the snow parking ordinance. We talk about people that are applying for exemption would be someone, individual resident, that may be issued an exemption for extreme hardship situations where they have no driveways or no place to park off the street, and then we'd give them an exemption. So some kind of verbiage like that might be very helpful in this ordinance, if that's the way we want to go, is to give exemptions.
I did talk with Tom because I was concerned that there isn't any standard in the ordinance for granting exemptions, and people will apply and there'll be no basis on which to give them, so that needs to be thought through.
The intent wasn't that there was going to be applications. The intent was the Public Works Committee was going to designate these streets, and that's the way it was going to be.
Oh,
It isn't an exemption process like the snow removal. The language of the ordinance was,
what's to keep someone from coming to the Public Works Committee and
That's what they would
saying, I'd
have.
like to, yeah, well, apply or go ask for an exemption? I mean, if they see it in the ordinance, I think they'll say, well, I have a situation similar to this, I'll go to the Public Works Committee. I just think it needs to be thought through before this goes in the ordinance, so we have factors.
the known areas, big areas. The Public Works Committee really didn't address individual property owners.
Okay, so it's no secret, I sent an email to Tom and this weekend saying I'm still have a problem with this change. I appreciate the map, Tom, I appreciate your work, but I continue to have a problem with this change. I think that if it's not broke, don't fix it. We're doing fine. I think you are able to identify as Public Works, as the head of Public Works, certain areas, and you've worked those out with neighbors or what have you, or areas of the city. And so I don't really want to start getting into which street gets it, which street doesn't. And, as much as I thought maybe we could do an exemption of certain streets, the more I thought about it through the week, I just think it's gonna be a whole lot of paperwork, a whole lot of time that we don't need to, that's gonna be spent on it for something that I think those streets are being taken care of already. Some of those streets are being taken care of by residents, so I just think we're kind of pushing an envelope that we don't need to push, so I'm gonna make a motion to table this indefinitely.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion. Tom, you look like you want to say something.
Well, I guess I'm struggling with that word in the ordinance. It says that talks about adjacent to or in front of. I still think that should be changed.
My other concern is that at some point, Public Works could just quit doing those areas, and then what?
Public Works isn't gonna quit doing those areas. It would be a safety hazard. We wouldn't do that as a city. First. Second, there's streets that are being shoveled by residents now that are adjacent, and they've been doing it because they want the sidewalk shoveled. We don't need to start enforcing ourselves upon neighbors. It's being done. Find me a sidewalk that's not being done.
But what if they stop doing Vine Street?
Right.
We do Vine Street.
What if we stop doing it because according to the...
We don't stop, though. When Hanley, for example, they were applying Hanley, and Tom, he spoke to the association up there and said, this is something that we think you should do. It was done.
Well,
It's
that's
done.
how Tom feels right now, though, about Vine Street. And
Vine Street is the biggest safety hazard of all.
I'm just saying that...
The difficulty that could come into place too is people that currently, again, on 7th Street would be another example, that may come in and say, well, I
The
don't wanna do
ordinance
mine
says-
anymore.
I don't want to nitpick the city. I don't want to pick things apart. I don't want to deal with exemptions any more than we have to. That's my
Well,
motion. I'm not
the
changing it.
question is that if they come in and the people on 17th stop plowing because,
Yeah, well, I don't think they'll do that.
well, I don't
have faith in
know,
them.
but
Well, that's my motion.
The ordinance as is does give the city the authority to go in and plow it and then bill the property owner. That's how the ordinance works.
It's been
And
fine,
that's-
it's been working, and
that would
now we're
Be the
changing.
solution.
That's my motion. I'm not changing my motion, so we can debate all we want, but I have a motion on the floor.
So the issue here is
Consistency.
Right, adjacent. These necessarily don't have to be in the ordinance.
The
They can-
exemption
think
part
so.
was added by Public Works Committee.
Right.
Yeah, that's the proposal.
We could keep
and the
everything the
adjacent.
way it is currently now, I guess, if that's what the
If we can
council would
keep
like to
the
do.
plowing the same and add the word in it that says behind,
Adjacent.
adjacent, would that be, we could still continue to do exactly what we're doing now, we're just changing one word to adjacent. Would that work for you?
It's all about enforcement also. I mean, you could go right across the street here to the funeral home and all up and down the old part of the town, and there's people that have sidewalks on two sides.
Right.
And
Have we had a problem with it? No, I'm not trying to be facetious,
I was just trying to.
I understand.
When I see a problem, to address the situation.
Sure. So, but if we had the adjacent, then it's not an issue. But we
I
haven't
think
had
it's
an
more consistent.
Well, it's ambiguous, and I know I respect your motion. I'm just saying that currently it's ambiguous that there's two things going on here, it seems that.
Right.
One is I happen to have a building on a corner lot, and I certainly understand that I could, according to this, could just do the front, although I do the side anyway, but,
Right.
but this is ambiguous is all.
Well,
So,
okay, who's gonna enforce it?
well, I believe we have enforcement, yeah, the city would
Right.
be, right.
When they have all the time in the world? Because we have everything else that we have in place enforced right now.
Well, the ordinance as written would authorize the city if adjacent goes in to plow it or clear it, but send a bill to the property owner. If it says in front of, you may have trouble sending a bill to the property owner for doing a sidewalk.
I mean, I understand that you don't feel it's broken, but Tom fields the questions, why do you plow this and not this? So is it broken? Maybe.
We're shining a light on something that, in my mind, is not. It's been working. We've had maybe a handful of people complain
Few people complain and
out
it's,
of 13,000 people.
Well, what would be the threshold to warrant a problem?
I can't answer that. You couldn't answer. You can't answer it.
So, but there has been complaints.
This is I agree. This is a problem that doesn't need fixing. We're shining a light on something that's been working fine. If it's a budgetary situation, that's a different issue. We've had that conversation.
How much has it saved our budget? How much are you saving in your budget?
to do these, I suppose on a smaller snowfall, you're looking at 2 to 3 hours. You know, bigger snowfalls, it could be more, 3.
But
As long as we
these
don't get any
particular
more, what
items, these particular streets you're talking about are gonna be exempt.
If
what it
that's
says.
what that's what the Public Works Committee
The
recommended.
city would be doing that.
Right.
Who would be doing
So
that?
the streets that are left,
That's only if this change goes
Right.
into
I-
effect.
you know what? Anyways, I'm gonna call the question. Make a motion to call the question.
Okay. The question's been called. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
No.
I knew that was gonna happen. So, can we ask any more questions, or do I have to vote?
No, let's call the
Sorry, Alan.
question.
I'll vote, yes. Motion carries. Okay,
And that was tabled indefinitely, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. Just clarifying.
okay. Unfinished business, update on projects.
The Lake Malibu project, they have finished the energy dissipator, placed the riprap. That's where the water overfalls the little ponding area, so that's completed. It looks like this week they're going to be placing a little more riprap and buttoning everything up for the winter season midweek by Wednesday. They will be coming in next spring to fix the driveway, but the driveway, the bituminous driveway is still there. It's just broken up, so it's not going to be a whole muddy drive he's going to be on. It's just cracked, and that will be repaired in the spring.
That's the private home?
Yes, that's the
Okay.
private homeowner. So it's coming along fine, and we've had good weather to get it done.
That's good.
So probably one more report to the council, and then we'll be holding project on updates on hold until springtime.
Awesome.
Okay. Questions for our engineer? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any older persons? Anything they'd like to?
I got a couple things.
Yes.
I'm very vocal tonight, apparently. Can I request that we put on next agenda to look at amending ordinance 220-4A?
Which one?
220-4A.
Which one is that?
That's the going to public hearing for taxi cabs.
Okay.
And then I also want to make a comment about an email we received today regarding flyers that are, I don't know if it's been hung in just Caribou or around town and wherever it's being hung, about saving the library and that the library is going to close. The library is not closing. We saved the library this year by having the county tax us. So if you live in the city, your taxes are going up $20 for every $100,000 your home is worth. So that saved the library. So please don't contact any of us saying that we're closing the library, because we're not. You can contact us with questions, but we're not closing the library. If you have a problem with the taxes, contact your county supervisor. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? City attorney? Nope. City administrator?
Nope. Neil, do we have an estimated date for the tax bills to go out? Just,
Well, you gotta bring that up for.
well, we'll start getting phone calls about it, so believe it or not.
On last Friday, the state released the last piece of information needed to generate the tax bills. I sent the statement of taxes in on Friday, so the anticipation is probably the second week, latter in the second week of December. So we're probably a week and a half away.
Okay.
Thank you.
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.